you think managerial roles consist of?
I feel as if the roles of a manager include tasks that require leadership, direction, and of course control.
The managerial roles include three topics: interpersonal, informational, and decisional. Interpersonal roles include those who are figureheads, leaders, as well as liaisons who provide information. Informational roles include a monitor, disseminator, and a spokesperson that process information. Last, there is decisional, which includes entrepreneurs, disturbance handlers, resource allocator, along with negotiators who use information. In this category, figurehead, leader, and liaison are roles that involve providing information and ideas.
A figurehead is a manager with social, ceremonial, and legal responsibilities. They are expected to be a source of inspiration. People look up to them as a person with authority. A leader. Provide leadership for the team, the department, or perhaps the entire organization, and it's where you manage the performance and responsibilities of everyone in the group.
In what ways do you structure the activities of your employees?
I like to make sure that all of my employees have a task at all times, and that they can complete their work without me having to give them constant direction.
A liaison is a manager that must communicate with internal and external contacts. They need to be able to network effectively on behalf of their organization.
How do you effectively network and engage in information exchange within your organization?
I am constantly in contact, as well as including myself in weekly meetings with neighboring businesses. In this category, monitor, disseminator, and spokesperson are roles that involve processing information. In this role, you regularly seek out information related to your organization and industry, looking for relevant changes in the environment. You also monitor your team in terms of both their productivity and their well-being.
How do you assess the internal operations, successes, problems, and opportunities of your organization?
We have an organizational dashboard that contains all the key metrics for our organizational goals and objectives. That is reviewed on a monthly basis by all the leaders within the organization. By reviewing these metrics, that allows us the opportunity to identify those metrics which are reaching the level of success that was needed. Therefore, we're able to celebrate those successes. We also identify opportunities through the review of the metrics on the dashboard, areas where we're not at the performance level that's desired. Those are the areas we identify then for performance improvement projects.
This is where you communicate potentially useful information to your colleagues and your team.
In what ways do you disseminate external information to your organization?
We have a variety of mechanisms for sharing external information throughout the organization. One of those is our monthly department managers meetings, but we do have two specific mechanisms that are used for sharing external information as well. Those are our Leadership Development Institute that's held on a biannual basis. Along with that, we also have two biannual employee town hall meetings where the main leaders for the organization share the information related to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that have been identified in the external environment.
Managers represent and speak for their organization. In this role, you are responsible for transmitting information about your organization and its goals to the people outside of it. Here's an example of a spokesperson. As you can see, this spokesperson was transmitting information about his company to a group of people outside of his organization. Now let's learn about decisional roles of managers.
In this category, entrepreneurs, disturbance handlers, resource allocators, and negotiators are roles that involve using information.
Entrepreneurs, as managers, create and control change within the organization. This means solving problems, generating new ideas, and implementing them.
Can you talk about some improvement projects you've been involved in, or the processes in which you facilitate such projects?
We utilize Lean Six Sigma within our organization. As a Green Belt, I have been involved in several improvement projects. One recently was related to fall prevention within the hospital. What we typically do is define the problem and then develop the business case to support the need for the improvement project. That's then communicated throughout the organization. Once this process is done, we identify our team, come together, and analyze the data that we've collected. From there, we determine what type of improvements would be best suited to address the problem. After that, we roll out those improvements, and then we continue to measure and monitor the success of those.
A disturbance handler is a manager that takes charge when the organization or team hits an unexpected roadblock. They also need to be able to mediate disputes within the organization or team.
As you can see, when the employees are disputing, the manager steps in and takes charge of the situation.
A resource allocator needs to be able to determine where organizational resources are best applied. This involves allocating funding, as well as assigning staff and other organizational resources. The negotiator takes part in and directs important negotiations within the team, department, or organization.
What are managerial skills? According to the CAT's managerial skills graph, top managers hold conceptual skills over middle managers and lower level managers, where lower level managers hold technical skills over middle managers and top managers, where human skills are held throughout all levels of management. Assuming that a manager is one who directs the activities of other persons and undertakes the responsibility for achievement of objectives through such efforts, successful management seems to rest on three basic developable skills: technical, human, and conceptual. Technical skills imply an understanding of specific kind of activity involving methods, processes, procedures, or techniques.
What type of technical skills do you utilize as a successful manager?
Well, in my 35 years with the company, I've developed a set of skills other than just managerial skills through many years of working in the shop itself, through welding and assembly and machining skills. That gives me a pretty broad background, and kind of helps me to understand, what these people are looking for, and kind of helps me to guide people better.
Human skills is the ability to work with, understand, and motivate other people the way the individual perceives their superiors, equals, and subordinates, and the way they behave subsequently.
How do you use human skills in your job?
Okay, I deal with approximately 1,000 people a day out within the workshop of our facility. And if I come upon people doing something that might be slightly out of process, instead of stopping and just saying, hey, you're doing that wrong, I like to use that as an opportunity to coach and train people, and share my experience with them, and give them a reason why things have to be done a certain way, instead of just maybe stripping them of some of their self-worth.
Do you feel managers who have better human skills tend to have more productive employees?
Of course, managers with human skills have more productive employees. How else would I have the most successful business in the nation? I mean, how would you feel if you were taking orders from a person with a dry and meaningless attitude? Conceptual skills are the ability to see the enterprise as a whole. It includes recognizing how the various functions of the organization depend on one another and how changes in any one part affect all the others.
Do you feel it's important for lower level managers to possess conceptual skills?
Yes, I think conceptual skills need to be possessed by managers at every level. Even as the frontline managers make decisions about things they're going to do within their department, that can have a ripple effect over into other departments. So they have to understand the interrelationships within the organization.
What are some skills your previous managers have lacked?
In a previous job I was in, I had a manager that really had very little communication and interpersonal skills. She had obtained her degree from an online resource. She had great technical skills, but she had little interpersonal skills.
How did this affect your job performance?
That particular manager's lack of interpersonal skills really led to employees, as well as myself, feeling devalued. People weren't motivated to perform at their highest level because there wasn't a good relationship built between them and the manager.
In conclusion, management is not solely about managing human resources, but other resources as well. In addition to Fayol's traditional management, a manager's work includes the managerial roles of Mintzberg, managerial skills of Katz, Cotter's networking activities, political skills as incorporated by Dubrin, and Luthen's modern view of managerial work.
Nevertheless, in order to operate a firm in such a dynamic environment, a manager must have the ability to adapt and anticipate the changing demands of the environment. Thus, it is evident that the work of a manager is unquestionably challenging with ever-increasing responsibility. Organizational effectiveness does not lie in that narrow-minded concept called rationality. It lies in the blend of clear-headed logic and powerful intuition.